Uh, I watched a fantastic YouTube video done by Tom Cabot, who's an electrical engineer who's been working on home electrification for years. And I'll put this in the chat, but he has, if you go to the greenblueandyou.org website, he has a great little video. So that addresses some of the issues that have come up. So here's your step about electrifying your heat pump, your gas to heat pump, your air, your gas furnace to your mini split or to your heat pump. And note, I don't know if you can see this, but that uses 1/3 of the energy of a gas furnace. Heat pump uses 1/3 of the energy of a gas heater, and you can go further with a stove, making sure that your dryer is not using a lot of electricity. There are dryers that are sort of hybrid heat pumps. And the biggest thing is actually EV charging. Now, most people charge their EV in a 110 outlet. That's what we do, and it's perfectly fine. So you're really not drawing very much additional electricity. But there are all types of ways. If you do decide to put in an electrical current, you can get some that are adjustable. So the whole point of Tom's video, and this is something that Mayor Young brought up, is that these things, lots of times they break down and it's emergency. You need to plan for this. And if you start out by planning, you can really do things so that you don't have to upgrade your panel. And Tom has great, graphics about how you can put all these things that you need on your panel. But it's essential that you plan ahead. And one of the biggest things I think you can do is you can do shares. So you can share volts, you can share fuses. So for example, you could share a dryer, which is on most people a 220. You can share that with an electric vehicle charging. And when the dryer is in use, it just shuts off the electrical vehicle charging. So you don't even need two separate circuits for that. And you can do that with a lot of different things that are not particularly expensive. This one, it's $3,000, or rather $300 to do something that switches back and forth, and you just plug it into the outlet. So there are things that you can do that will prevent you having to upgrade your fuse box. Most fuse boxes have unused capacity. So this is typically, the blue is the capacity used on an average basis, and the green is the capacity that's not used. Over here, that shows all electric. So even with an all electric or nearly all electric, you're not nearly using the capacity of your fuse box. Now, the rebates give substantial amount of money for upgrading your fuse box system, but Tom's whole point is lots of times you can do this without an upgrade, but you have to plan ahead. And he also said, asking an electrician if you need to upgrade your fuse box is sort of like asking a barber if you need a haircut. The answer is probably always going to be yes, because that's how they make a lot of money. And the big thing is avoiding really big charging systems for cars, because that'll kill you. So you don't really need it. Most of the time, 20 amps is fine. Here he has a little bit in his thing about incentives. These are incentives that currently exist. Over here is the cost in red of putting in gas. On the right is putting in a heat pump. And some of the subsidies for low-income people are so substantial that it actually is free by the time they do it. Here's another one that shows a little bit about the taxes you're paying and your income level, and whether or not you would be able, the teal here is, I hope you can see that. I'm not showing up on my screen. That's people who can get a rebate up front. Up here, it's people who would get a tax credit. and in the middle, it's a hybrid situation. But you can see a two-person household making $100,000 a year. This is for the Peninsula, San Mateo, but they can get mostly rebates, so they don't even have to wait for a tax credit. Here's an example of some of the rebates that are coming up or already in existence. So they're substantial. So if you can get an $8,000 rebate for a heater, a heat pump, that's going to be the difference in cost between replacing a furnace, and it's probably going to save you money if you're talking about putting in an air conditioner. So I'm not going to take any questions on this because I'm not the expert, but I am going to put in the chat the link to this website that really can help you with the rebates and the making sure you don't have to have a panel upgrade. But the key to it is planning ahead, so that if you know your water heater is 10 years old, well, don't wait till it breaks down. Start thinking about fixing it now and fix it before it breaks down so you have the time. Same with your furnace. We had an old furnace, 30 years old. We replaced it with a heat pump because we knew it was going to go out. And of course, the one thing you do need to do in advance is if you've got a good roof, if you want to put solar on, please, you should make sure your roof's in good condition.